Human Vapor is a self-explanatory title TV show from Japan that is streaming on Netflix right now, and this show had me feeling all sorts of feelings, and I really do mean all sorts of feelings. So I'd like to talk about it today without revealing too much to basically let you know if you would want to watch it or not. Hi, I'm Gael Level, and I love to yap about everything really. And I want to start by saying that I absolutely underestimated this show. The trailer got me hooked, but not too much, mostly because the CGI looked pretty cool, and I love me a good Japanese supernatural / horror / drama, but they can sometimes be hit or miss. I think the most important thing to know about this TV show based off the synopsis is that it's not as simple as you might think. As someone who's very used to like American TV shows and movies, I really thought I had it all figured out and it wasn't going to go anywhere interesting, but I was pleasantly surprised. The show ended up having enough twists and turns to really make the overall story very compelling, not necessarily complex, but deep enough to have the full impact by the end of it. But it doesn't show its hand right off the bat. It starts with this guy that you see floating here exploding, and it sets like a very serious tone, and then immediately crushes it with a more goofy or more comedic tone, which at times made me really wonder where it was going, if it was going to become this weird comedy with a lot of like exaggerated characters and all that. I lost faith in this show a couple of times, and I'm so glad that I kept watching, because every time it takes a detour into this weird comedy or just bizarre, extremely silly side quest, it ended up wrapping up everything together so well that I was like, okay, you got me. I feel defeated. Because you got me. I never thought it would wrap up well because it was deviating so hard. It's I gotta say it's great, but it's great as a whole. I think this is the type of show that you kind of need to binge watch, because if you stop at certain episodes, it can feel discouraging in a way. It can feel like it's not going anywhere, but it is. Trust me, it is. So I'm so glad it was available on Netflix and I managed to binge watch the whole thing in one sitting, because if it wasn't, I probably would have abandoned. This is not the type of show I think that you would want to wait a week before the next episode, and then there's like the Christmas break and all that. Like, they would totally lose you if they did that. This is the type of show that you absolutely sit down and binge watch. Also, it's super fun. As I said, the trailer showed me enough CGI to get me hooked a little bit. They don't shy. You can feel that there's a lot of love, and there's a ton of experimental, a ton of artistic choices that they make that I'm just like, yes, okay, please do more. Yes, absolutely. You can feel that they literally like went ham on that stuff. Every direction this show takes shows little restraint. When you're watching like an American TV show and you feel like the story is like, the subject matter is super serious, but they don't want to go there, or they don't want to do this and don't want to do that because of ratings, right? Like if something is PG-13, there's enough cuss words, or there's enough violence, or you can't show like kids being hurt on camera and things like that, right? This show doesn't feel like that. It feels like every single time, if they want to go silly, they go very, very silly. When they go action, my God, they go really, really, really action. Big CGI, chase scenes, everything. It's great. It's great. Overall, it's great. Same thing with character development, and that's something that I thought of while watching it. I was like, this reminds me of Korean movies like The Host, or even Parasite, or those pieces of media where the characters are being fleshed out and fleshed out and fleshed out and fleshed out, that you end up living the fun moments with them. You're laughing with them, and then you reach the sadness, and you're 100% with them, and then you live the drama, the suspense, the action, and you're 100%. This show kind of does that, but not necessarily with one single character. The way the show presents this is with multiple characters. I would say like each character represents a different emotion. There's a little bit of mix, but it's not too spread out. The characters that I thought I would absolutely hate when they were presented the first time are the characters that I ended up loving the most, because again, like, they add depth in places that you wouldn't expect. It's not perfect by any means. It could be better in the sense of it could be longer. At the end of it, I was like, I wouldn't mind if there was like a second season of this, because This was really, really cool. So, to wrap it up, if you are familiar with J-drama, K-drama, and that style of storytelling with, oh, those people have a past together and blah, 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 and there's a little bit of romance, but you don't know where it's going, on top of the murder mystery, and then the super silly characters, like those are the young, annoying kids and all that. If you're familiar with that stuff, it will help you basically push through the moments where you don't feel like it's going anywhere. But again, as I said, if you binge it, you'll be fine. I feel like the only way for you to truly appreciate this is to actually binge the whole thing, watch how nicely it wraps up, and then you're good. So if you do not have any patience, if, you know, cringing a little bit makes you immediately stop watching something, then I don't think this show is for you. I'm not gonna lie. If you're the type of person to completely abandon after the first episode because the pilot wasn't good enough, even though you haven't met half of the characters in the show, or you haven't learned their backstory or experienced the plot twist, if you're the type of person to give up so early, I don't think this show is for you because you might give up very, very fast. As for me, my timeline went like this. It started, I saw this first guy exploding, the guy you see in the trailer. I was like, oh, I guess this is pretty serious and pretty gory too. And I had this mindset and it pushed me towards, wait a minute, why is this getting sillier and sillier each episode? I guess this is like a weird, silly comedy. I'm not sure I'm on board with it. And then it got silly to a point where I was like, this is actually hilarious. Like this is weird now. It's not just silly. It's not just comedy. It's just like straight up very weird. So I was still intrigued, but I was like, where is this going? We started off such serious show. Now this is like pure weird offbeat comedy. And then we started getting more exposition, which made me look at the whole thing differently. And I was like, wow, this is getting oddly like deep and all of that, just to wrap it up nicely in a beautiful bow where I'm not gonna lie, I was sobbing. Okay, I was sobbing. They did that last episode, especially, like they did things I could feel them like pulling the tears out of my eyeballs. Okay, it was a great experience. I am so glad I actually pushed through the whole thing. I watched the whole thing. If that sounds good to you, give it a watch. It's on Netflix right now. I don't usually cry while watching media in general, movies, TV shows, or anything like that, but this one, wow. So if you're sensitive, get the tissues ready. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe so you can see me talk more about movies, TV shows. I'm probably going to go back to older movies and give you my thoughts on them and how I experienced them back then and now. I did that with Secret Window recently, and that video kind of took off. It's been really, really fun talking to you guys in the comments. Anywho, bye-bye.